We interrupt our regularly scheduled broadcast for this breaking news. 2 Cookeville teenage girls were killed and 5 other persons were injured in Putnam County's worst traffic accident of the year on this Sunday night. The accident, a 2-car collision on Highway 70 near the Double Springs Cemetery, resulted in the death of Miss Nancy Ruth Harris and Miss Barbara Sue Newman, both 14-year-old freshman students at Central High School. Miss Harris is the daughter of Mrs. Delcy Lane Harris of Cookeville and the late Draper Harris, and Miss Newman's parents are Mr. and Mrs. Rupert Newman. The accident occurred when the car in which the girls were riding collided with a car whose occupants hail from Old Hickory. The car was reported to have been pulling into the highway from a side road when the collision took place. The teenagers reportedly engaged in a high-speed chase with police, following an attempt to enter the drive-in theater unlawfully. The 18-year-old driver and the other occupant of the car in which Miss Newman and Miss Harris were riding were taken to Cookeville General Hospital, where they were treated for shock. Neither suffered bodily injuries. The driver of the car that was struck was taken to Cookeville General Hospital, suffering head injuries. His wife suffered back, chest, and head injuries, and their son was under treatment for a fractured arm and nose. Double funeral services for the 2 girls will be held Tuesday afternoon at Broad Street Church of Christ, with Oliver Cunningham and Charles E. Gentry officiating. Burial will be in the Cookeville City Cemetery. Cookeville schools will be closed on Tuesday in observance of the double funeral. In addition to her parents, Miss Newman is survived by a brother, Bobby Newman, her paternal grandparents, Mr. and Mrs. Bradley Newman of Cookeville, and her maternal grandparents, Mr. and Mrs. J. A. Means of Rickman. Miss Harris is survived by a sister, Miss Linda Fay Harris, and a brother, Billy Harris, and her paternal grandparents, Mr. and Mrs. Charter Harris, all of Cookeville. This is surely the worst story I've ever reported in all my years on this radio station. May peace be with the families and all involved in this tragic accident.